Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Let's get crafting. I am so excited about this project because we are going to be doing something that is so high end and that's trending all over the place online right now for such an affordable budget. We're going to take these ping pong balls and this 3D wreath form and we are going to turn them into a wood beautiful floral wreath. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off these 3 extra rings. We're going to save them for another project on another day because I have a really cute idea for those too. But we're going to take this wire that's pointing in. There's 2 of them. One of them we're going to pop right off by just wiggling it back and forth. And the other one we're going to keep because towards the end we're going to use that to bring the wire form back together. And I'll show you what I mean towards the end of this project. But what we want to do is up at the top where we pop that one off, make sure you smooth it back out into being that round shape. And then at the bottom, go ahead and cut it right here on this part. So that way we can thread on all of our ping pong balls. So at this point, you're going to need 4 packs of these. Go ahead and take them out. And you are going to cut holes in them by using your craft knife. And I'm going to do a hole on opposite sides of each other. So I poked one hole and then I'm going to turn it around on the other side and then poke another hole. Now make sure when you're poking your holes that you don't make them so big that it's going to cause it to not be nice and tight on the wire. But don't make them too small because when you get to the top where you've cut off that other piece, that wire that was coming in, it doesn't get stuck because it can cause it to want to not let it thread through. So keep that in mind. The other thing I wanted to say to keep in mind with is that these are ping pong balls, so don't squeeze them too tight while you're poking your holes in them. They do pop back out if you do squeeze them too tight, but just keep that in mind as you're working with them. So once you start threading everything on, you're going to start to see right away that that really popular trending wreath that is like $50, I think almost to $100 depending on who's selling it, because those wreaths have wooden larger balls that we've been seeing a lot in home decor, but these are really large ones. I just thought we could do this so much cheaper or so much more affordable with these ping pong balls that will give us the look, and it will be totally beautiful and fine on our front doors hanging up, and it will stand the test of time because it's a ping pong ball. As we go through all of them and we're puncturing our holes, make sure you do 4 cases of these ping pong balls, and then at that point you're going to go ahead and take your wires. You're going to create a little loop just like you saw there, and then it hooks right on to that wire that we did not cut off that's pointing in, so you can see that it's all connected. And then the last one, you're going to go ahead and just hot glue it in place. Now at this point, you can see here that we're going to move on to our florals. These are the ones I'm going to be using. This greenery came from Amazon and I love it. I'll link it down below. It's a very pretty cascading type fern greenery and it's just so pretty with all of these other lovely colors. And you don't have to go so spring. You definitely can go more summer if you want to. I still have spring a little bit on my heart, so I'm not quite ready to let go of the pinks and the yellows, but that's what I did. Now at this point you can see that I took the ping pong balls and the wreath outside and I spray painted them a taupey color so that way I can get rid of the white and even the wordage that's on that ball. And we're going to just start dry brushing on some brown paint. And I did about 4 coats of this brown paint because I wanted to make them look as natural as possible to make them look like wood. Take your time, don't rush through this. This is actually a really fun thing to do. I personally enjoy dry brushing on things. So I'm just lightly putting on 4 coats, taking my time, and then I'm going to come in with a different tint of brown, and then I'm even going to come in with this creamy off-white color, which will add a little more texture and depth to them and make them really look like they are the real thing, and people will not be able to tell that these are ping pong balls and that you spent about $6 to make this versus $50 to $100 to buy it. So at this point we're going to take some foam core. You can see that I cut them down really thin slices of it, and I want you to almost think of it like we're making a sandwich at this point because we are going to sandwich the wire in between 2 pieces of foam core board. So I've got to get enough that will go across the bottom part of the wreath. And I'm just taking my pliers and creating a little space to be able to sandwich the wire up in there. And I'm going to glue that on, and then I'm going to come on the other side of the wire, the top part where we're going to be putting all of our florals into, and I'm going to just glue one on and sandwich it in. That way, so the back side, the foam is not going to fall off the wire, because it's going to want to, especially if you have it on your front door and you live in a place where you get high winds. Here in Missouri, during the springtime, we get a lot of high winds, which is why you hear a lot of tornado reports during this time of year for us. But where we are, we're totally safe. We're in a really hilly area, but we do get those high winds. So I just recommend sandwiching on that foam, because it'll really make it stay in place and be nice and strong for you and have a high quality look. So once you've got your foam all on, go ahead and start putting on your flowers. I decided, like I said, to go with a kind of spring going into summer look. So I'm using some white, green, pops of yellow, and then a darker couple shades of pink. And then I simply added on a ribbon and a couple other ones that are, a little more texture and height, and you are all set to hang it up. Today I am teaming up with Lianep from DIY Beauty on Purpose. She is the real deal, friends. She makes the prettiest things. I came across her channel one night when I was just scoping out new crafters, and I wanted to team up with her to feature her and to get more eyes on her. I think her channel deserves so many more subscribers because how talented she is. Head over and check out her video that's linked down below my description box and give her a heart and let her know I sent you. If you're coming over from her channel, welcome. My name is Heidi from Heidi Sonboul DIY. I post weekly and I love DIYs. Our next project is super simple because I like to show that you don't have to do a lot of work to create something cute for your home. You're going to take a glass bowl from the Dollar Tree as well as this 3D paint, Puffy paint, and you're going to just make little dots all over it. And when we're done, we're going to spray paint it. Make sure it's dried really well. Puffy paint can take a couple hours to dry. But once it's done, take it outside, spray paint it, and it will give it the cutest melt glass look to this little bowl. If you're enjoying my channel and my video, don't forget to click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Now, for my friends that are YouTubers who want to play along, I am going to be hosting the next DIY challenge on June 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is when the playlist goes live and when you can add your video to the playlist. The theme is red, white, and blue. For my friends that don't live in America but you live in other countries, keep in mind the color scheme is red, white, and blue, and you can still play along. I don't want you to feel like you have to do such 4th of July theme because that really is an American theme. But go ahead and play along if you want to for the DIY challenge. These are all the rules that you're going to need to know to be able to play along, and I cannot wait to see your projects. This next project is going to be using these 3 canvases that are 8 by 10 and then these jumbo sticks that I found at Walmart. I was so excited when I found these because I have been looking for something like this for a little while. These sticks are so huge that you can see that they can go either way on these canvases. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut away the fabric. You all have seen me do this a million times here on my channel. If you've been here for a while, I love using these frames because you can use that wood accent and be able to do it on a very nice budget. So go ahead and cut away the fabric so we can use that canvas fabric for another project on another day. And we're going to go ahead and pull away all of that excess that we don't need that's wrapping around the canvases, and then just continue to do that to the other 2 frames. So now what we're going to do at this point, we're going to add some hot glue and we are going to just glue those right together. And then we're going to do it to the other one as well. So we have a nice long piece that we're going to be working with. And today we are going to be making a shutter. Now, I think shutters are the cutest thing to use in decor. I love using them with layering and I just love how they look. And you can paint them whatever color you want and really just, I don't know. have a good time decorating your home with them. I think they're super cute for that farmhouse look. So what I'm going to do is, once I got my hot glue on there, I'm going to staple gun them together. I'm going to link my staple gun down below. I love my staple gun. I talk about it all the time here on my channel. I think it's something to add to your craft room when you're doing home decor pieces. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and take those jumbo sticks. We're going to cut them down to size. You saw that I put it underneath the frame, created my cut lines, and now I'm just using some scissors to cut them off. Make sure you use an old pair of scissors so you don't mess up your really nice ones. But once you've got that first template, you're going to go ahead and just trace them on to the other ones. Now I figured out I need about 8 to 9 inside each one of my frames. But the thing is I say 8 to 9 because it just depends on how close or wide you want those blades to be. If you want there to be more of a spacing, I would go with an 8, versus if you want them tight, I would do more of a 9. So the very first one, you're going to angle it down just so you saw me do here, and then you're going to flip it over on the back side, and you're going to add that supportive glue to the back so that it stays on there nice and secure. And just make sure you like the positioning before it dries, and then you're going to flip over and you're going to just keep adding on all of these popsicle sticks that look like shutter blades. And you can see here that when you put them closer, they don't have as much of a spacing between them. So on this one, I'm going to do 8 of them so that you can see that it gives it a little bit of that spacing between the blades, which I like that look. But if you want them to be a little bit closer, you can do 9, and then you can just push them in a little bit tighter in there. So it's just your preference on which one you like. Now I'm sure there's going to be some people who will say that you can go to the Habitat for Humanity Restore Home stores, and it's true, you can get these there, but it just depends. Sometimes they still charge a lot for these there too. And I made this shutter piece for about $4 and I'll say 25 cents. And it is just so cute. I personally really enjoyed this DIY. If you like getting your hands on a project and you love that farmhouse look, this is definitely a project to try. Plus, the idea of it can be taken in so many different directions. You can do so many more shutters. You can do 9 frames to create a 3x3 space and hang that up on a wall and put a wreath on it. How adorable could that be? There's just so many fun things. Now I will say, it was so funny how much great minds think alike. I have seen somebody do this and it came out right as I was filming this, where you can take these and turn them into a lantern look. There's just a lot of fun things that you can do to create a really pretty shutter look. So just keep in mind that it's not just only a shutter that you can do with this. I have some other plans that I'm going to be doing with this technique and these big sticks. So just keep a lookout if you're loving this idea. But once you get to the end of each one, make sure you hot glue the back side really well so they're all nice and secure. And then once you're all done with everything, you can go ahead and paint them. You can stain them. I decided to go with a rustic look because that's the look I'm going with for my decor here in my home. So I'm going to just add on some white paint and I'm going to just dry brush on the paint. I don't want too much. I want to still show some of that wood coming through. I want them to look old. So I'm just adding in some paint and taking my time and going over it and just having fun and making sure I'm getting in all the crevices that I want. And then I decided to also add in some other colors as well. I think it's important to make sure that when you're doing these, if you're going for that rustic look, to add in a little bit of a brown or a kind of a brownish gray color. That really gives it that nice look that you're trying to get with that. Or the other thing that's really cool too is that you can paint these a solid color, like I mentioned earlier, with the color theme that you have in your homes. You can stack them up with a whole bunch of cute decor on a shelf, or you can hang them on the wall. There is just so many fun possibilities with these. I love how they turned out so much. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Now don't forget to go over and check out Lianep. Go over and say hi. Again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button if you're new. And I hope that you plan to play along to the DIY challenge on June 12th. Thanks so much for being my friend, and until the next episode, bye friends.